Have you ever wanted to be a loser? Did you not know that maybe you wanted to be a loser? Well, I can share my story with you. This is how I became the loser I never knew I wanted to be. This is my series about rediscovering yourself when everything you knew is gone. Your professional career, family, dynamics, everything just kind of gets upended. And I went from basically being a creative director for 30 years to delivering groceries for Target and getting kicked out of my house by my boomer dad. So, I think my feeling lately has been this sense of freedom, right? So it doesn't really fit the template I've used to experience, but there's this strange sense of relief in all of it too. You know what I mean? So whether it was ending the relationship with my father, getting kicked out of the family house and inheritance and starting over, all while at the same time my career falling apart, so not having the resources to really even try to find a place to live or anything. And then going from work that was highly intellectual and a lot of thinking, it demanded a lot of thought all the time, even when I wasn't working, right? I would still lay in bed and think about the projects. And kind of when you're branding, you're weighing out so many different factors about who people are and what they're doing and why they're doing it and how that translates into the communication, the narrative, the look and feel, and all that kind of stuff. So it can be very taxing on the mind and create a lot of anxiety if you're somebody like myself who's kind of more on the ADHD sort of things. You can't kind of stop thinking about stuff, So, for all intents and purposes, I'm a loser. I make, with all expenses and averages, like $15 an hour, shopping and delivering, for Target. So, and when you don't make a lot of money, your expenses have to be low. So you have to start lowering expenses, cutting those subscriptions and all that kind of stuff too. And then you're kind of in this nobody kind of notices you, cares about you kind of bracket of society, which is not necessarily a bad thing either. So it's just interesting to be on two sides of this, and really having experience with two sides of it and seeing the perspective on it, I think what I'm realizing is that people who never really develop a sense of creativity or a career or something like that, who end up more on this lower spectrum in socioeconomic development, I could see that being really depressing, right? But if you're somebody who's creative, who's project driven, who's got ideas, who has vision for things, right? Like being kind of on the poorer side of the socioeconomic systems, it's not bad. I mean, there's more freedom in a sense, like in regard to, you're not, all your time and energy isn't taken up with people's expectations of you and living up to all these standards and all these things you have to be doing for other people to keep up those finances, So I don't know, it's just been this interesting time of reflection on, where's the balance? Where's the sweet spot? How much do we really need, So I don't know. I think that kind of becoming a quote unquote loser it's been a good thing for me. I don't have the mental stress I used to have. There's some survival stuff regarding paying bills and the future and all that kind of stuff, but I mean, who really gives a shit, man? Like, at the end of the day, don't you just want to be able to have the freedom to explore ideas that you want to explore? If you can kind of put a little physical labor in here and there just to get the bills paid and you have time and space to do those things, isn't that better? What are these crazy standards that we're trying to live up to all the time, So I don't know. It's just been an interesting time of reflecting on weighing it all out. You know what I mean? How much do you need? What, do I need a $700 car payment a month or $1,000 car payment a month? Why? you know? It's just bringing up so many thoughts to me about society and where we're at. And I think it's super exciting in a sense because, like, dude, we're on the verge of fucking breakdown. And what I mean by that is not the typical shit you hear, but it's just like when the cost of goods, like, just literally becomes out of reach. Like, you have to start getting really creative, you know? Like, I just went to the store and bought 6 8-foot beams of wood, and it's cheap wood, you know, it's just whatever. I'm gonna paint it white, you know, but I'm gonna build like a shelving unit and a unit that houses the refrigerator and the microwave in my 20-foot Airstream. Cost me $36, something like that. I mean, I could get fancy wood and spend a bunch of money, but this is perfectly fine. You know, you seal it, you paint it, you know, but you know, so it's $36. If I hired someone to do this, I mean, it would be like $1,500, $2,000 maybe, something like that. It's just insane, you know. So, but you know, this is what I mean is that, you know, we have to like we're at a point where it's like we need to kind of figure out how to do things on our own, you know, if you're gonna have any sense of freedom. You know, the other side is you get into this whole other segment. You know, it used to be that like salaries were like between the lower and the kind of middle or middle upper class were kind of, there was space in not that much space in between. Now there's this huge space, so everything's being priced out to people who have these like tech job salaries. You know what I mean? They're making $150,000 a year, $200,000 a year. So if you're on the lower side of that, it's like what do you do? You know? So, you know, I think it's like a really cool time in that sense. You know, it's like there's so much greed for basic resources, for basic things, but that only boils down to a handful of things. And even within those categories, there's just a handful of things, meaning like, you know, we need to eat, we need shelter, right? We need entertainment, we need snacks, we need all the accoutrements of a modern society. But how can we do that if everything's been so segmented and nobody knows how to do anything anymore? Then the people providing the resources can just jackhammer you in the ass. You know what I mean? They can just charge whatever they want, you know? So I don't know. I think it's exciting. I think it's exciting, the idea of like communities like generating the raw resources again, right? Like if you're going to make glass, like filter out the sand, melt it at 3,000 degrees, pour some fucking glass. You know what I mean? Like that's possible, right? I mean, I've been experimenting and making hard kombucha lately. It's like, I had no idea how easy it was. I bought a bottle of kombucha at the store. You pour it in some water with a couple cups of sugar and you stir it and you let it sit for 2 weeks. That's it. This shit costs an arm and a leg at the store. Then, if you want a hard kombucha, you literally take out the scoby, gooby kombucha thing on the top and you pour in a little champagne yeast. It costs nothing. Let it sit for 2 more weeks. You got a hard kombucha. That doesn't give you a stomachache. That doesn't make you feel sick. You know, all that alcohol at the stores and all that stuff, it makes you feel sick. It's not the alcohol. It's the lack of the balance between all the whatever, you know, all the prebiotics, probiotics, and bacterial aspects of it. When they sterilize it and they make the components separately and they mix them together, it makes you sick. It gives you a stomachache. You don't have what it takes to digest it properly. So it's like a bomb in your stomach. I had no idea until I started making my own and drinking it. Me and my girlfriend have a couple cups every now and then. We don't get sick at all, ever. Never. You never feel sick. We go out, we get a hard kombucha at the store. It's expensive and it just bombs you out. So I'm just like having these like trippy revelations about how simple it is to move forward, and what we need to do is we just need to learn how to do the basics again. You know what I mean? And that's even like super simple stuff. It's like bread making. Like you need it because you need to make crackers, you need to make breads, and you need to make tortillas, and you need to make pizza, and you need to make all these things. Dude, it's so simple, you know? And people are like, I'll make bread, you know, this is how you make bread. No, it's not making bread, it's making fucking yeast, man. You need to learn how to work with yeast. You work with yeast, you're done. All these complicated shit, bullshit, man. You pour some flour in a fucking bowl, right? You put some salt, water, a little bit of yeast in there. Warm water, not hot, warm. You don't need to fucking measure it, man. Just grab the end of a spoon, a wooden spoon, the other side, not the round side. Stir it up. Flip it over a couple times over the next couple hours. You don't have to do that. Throw it in the fucking, or leave it on the counter for the afternoon. Dump it out, cut it up in some sections, put it in bowls, pull it out, roll it out for crackers, fucking smush it out for a pizza dough. Leave it lumpy in a bread pan and break it for bread. Dude, it's that simple, man. Like, you don't have to touch the damn thing. So it's like, it costs nothing. You go in the store, you buy shitty bread, it costs you fucking $6 or $7. So, it's just this kind of shit that's like, I'm like, dude, what the fuck are we doing? It's like, you want to sit there and just fucking take it in the ass, or are you going to fucking do something about it, So, if this is what being a loser is, then fucking sign me up, man. I'm all about it, man. Like, I want to be a loser, man. Live simply, keep the cost down, and start to re-empower ourselves. Stop being a fucking bitch to life, Stop being a bitch to these systems, you know what I mean? And I'm not some fucking, tin hat dude. I'm just saying, like, look at fucking reality, man. Like, cancel those fucking subscriptions, learn how to do shit, Like, build a fucking house. We can do all this shit, And especially when it gets to the point where it's going to get worse, because it's got to get worse before it's going to get better, is when it gets really worse, then the people who have skills and talents and know how to do shit, we can help each other. What a fucking concept, you know what I mean? So I kind of feel like I'm just kind of surrounded by stupid people, you know what I mean? And I don't mean that to be mean. I'm just saying, like, wake the fuck up, Like, learn how to do shit, help each other, Like, that's the model moving forward. That's the only way we're going to get out of this extractive system, That it's like, oh, whoopsie, the prices are twice as much. We don't give a shit about you, So, anyway, blah, blah, blah. If this is what it's taken to get here, great, But anyway, I'm happy to be a loser, for now. And if things work out where more resources come in because some guy wants a music video or he wants me to help him with produce an album or produce some shit or whatever, then great, I'll take it. But, it's going to have integrity to it. And it's just nice to have whatever humble backup I've got going right now. But anyway, this is me reinventing my life at 50. Never knew I'd be here, but sayonara to that bullshit I used to do. Sitting in an office, fucking sucking corporate cock all day. Fuck those people. Fuck the people that want to sit around and justify their jobs talking about shit or scheduling meetings, man. They're fucking idiots, I'm passionate about this, It's like, you want to waste your fucking life? Don't waste mine. Get the fuck out of the way. I got shit to do, Come on, man. Let's make some shit, dude. Don't be such a douche. If you own a business, man, turn it nonprofit. Don't be a douche. Think about other people, man. If you have, like, local access to resources, fucking grow some wheat, man. Like I said, make some fucking glass. Make some bricks. Make a fucking nonprofit, little house community. Stop being a bitch. Give back a little bit, Stop being a greedy whore. I'm so sick of this shit, dude. Come on, fuckers. Jesus Christ, man. Why am I the one who have to fucking say something? Anyway, I mean, how greedy do we all need to get before nobody has fucking shit? And fucking half of us are fucked. When do we stop caring about our fellow man, Ooh. Anyway, I highly recommend to be a loser. I think there's an old Gnostic saying, or I think it came from something like that. And it says, in order to be used, you must be usable. or maybe it's a parable within that, but it's that same idea, right? In order to be used, you must be usable. You know what I mean? So, dude, be a loser, man. Be unusable, man. Have no value for someone else to fucking extract out of you, man. You know, take care of yourself. Take care of your family. When you can do that, take care of your community, man. GTFO. Get some fucking solar. Collect some water. Come on. We're taking fucking crazy pills here? Anyway, that's my update. I'm just waiting for a job to shop right now. Made $50 already this morning. 2 hours. Rocking it. All right, guys. I'll send you an update again soon. And I will talk to you later. Bye.